Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Allegro Africa podcast. This is episode 1. This should be episode 15. So yeah, we are rolling, we are going, we are recording, we are shooting, and we're getting requests from sometimes weird people saying, hey, we want to be in the podcast. And then sometimes it's like, hey, you should actually come into the podcast. But it's interesting. You're showing how you feel this podcast is important for your career or things you've watched. We've got nice feedback also, and I'm loving it. Thank you so much for the support. On this episode, I have one of the best hip-hop artists in the country. Consistency in the skill of rapping and unique. Whatever Palami, Kid man. You don't even have to be told. This guy has been in the industry forever. SothoHop. This guy is there. I could say Kiena Enkara Muchini Kuonaga studio nkamo. Ladies and gentlemen, Skebz D. Mukebe Mohaswa.
Yo,
if we didn't have the Skebz Zamwana.
Oh yes,
Oh my God.
Yes, sir.
That's where the party started, hey.
No doubt.
That's where the party started. I want to go straight to the Dubai Habib.
No, once. But when I was in Dubai, I also got a chance to, travel with some friends to Qatar and back to Dubai as well.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
How was that?
The experience was nice.
Yes.
The experience was nice. I believe it was one of the highlights of my career.
Yeah.
As an artist hailing from the Mountain Kingdom. So,
sure.
Nearly to Moja Blind.
Who's calling you to tell you that Skebz D represent?
Government, man.
Nice.
Before, the Dubai thing, because it's kind of got the lockdown. I think it was in 2021.
Okay.
So, but it was still, there was a COVID. Before that, I had been a bit disappeared, I took a break, yes. It was because I was finding the music very easy to do, but I wanted to find other challenges in life.
Sure,
so I decided to go finish my academics. I took a 4-year hiatus, a 4-year break, and I went to Limkongwin. So immediately when I got back, I wanted to get back in the swing of things, and I got this call. I think it was two Makalama Bidi. It was tourism and trade. I think the first call was from Batwa Trade, asking me to send my credentials and whatever profiles. So I just thought it was whatever.
Yeah.
The next thing, we hadn't been told, and then we got told at the meeting when we met up with all the other artists. And
really?
Yes.
Whoa.
And yeah, man.
Dubai 2 minutes.
Into the crazy.
Whatever.
I know, man. To be honest, I'm not lying. Listen to why.
Okay.
I had thought of doing something to reintroduce myself to the industry.
So at the same time.
Yes, because I was so worried because I didn't know what move I could do to tell people, hey, I'm back. And yes. Because when I went to do my studies, I went off the music industry completely.
Sure,
yes, I decided I can balance the two.
What are you studying?
I was doing international tourism.
What a coincidence.
Yeah,
What a
so
coincidence.
I have always loved traveling. That's why when the people at tourism told me about the trip, I started finding ways to make it more diverse, because we were only told there was a selection process where at the first meeting there was actually many of us, but the final selection was myself, Abuti Sidimu, Ausmapule, and then Stana. Ndade Stana. And Ndade Buima.
You better put a Ndade on that name.
Ndade Stana, Yeah, so, but he's my boy, So
for sure.
The selection came in a very difficult way. People just thought everybody's posting le fitlezwa mo. That's the first thing everybody asked. And I said, they don't know. Everybody on that lineup was very credible because they've been working hard.
Sure.
And the team was not a lucky selection. We worked together with all the entire team before. I had worked with everybody on that entire team. So funny enough, after the selection process, some people started having ups and downs and whatever. It's usually with this country, it's always a concern because people ask about money first.
Sure.
Which is a good thing. But I was just considering the trip is all expenses paid, everything, and then I'll figure out that you pay and whatever. But you know. So honestly, some people pulled out, and then we ended up as that list of those 5 people. And then we got dancers from Manzopa community. Shout out Manzopa. So I had to put together the whole package now. How are we gonna perform? That was the job that nobody talked about, and nobody talked about how, you know, putting together the whole thing was.
Just a quick break from the conversation, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to know that from 35 Maluti only, you can start to have health care insurance from God Risk Health Insurance. So I'm going to give you the numbers right there on the screen just after this, and you just get those numbers, call them, and make sure that yourself and your family are protected. Choreography, all of these people, the presentation.
Yeah, the presentation.
That's you.
Yes, we had to do it out. I can honestly say, but Twane Baikopanyaholo was Ausma Poka from Yona Manzopa, and then it was Abdisidimo and myself. The other artists were all already in. They knew what to do. They knew the music. But as an artist / producer, and also organizer, I'm much of a performer. I figured quick, no, I have to come up with a grand performance, something that will blow people's minds away.
Tell me your part. So
I get this.
What are you performing?
I was doing this song. It's called Hi. So
Sure.
Coincidentally, the song is talking about this is not my home. Telling them so now this song was coming off of a tape I just dropped. It was called SothoHop Empire Volume 1. And since I was coming back in the industry, remember when I left, CD, that's the other thing. 2014, 15, you know. Now Basali and them. I'm wondering, how do artists even make money? That's the other thing. Because I wanted to still pursue music. I was going to improve so that I could have other things that I can fall back on if I'm not, making money out of music. I've always had side hustles. I've never just done music, ever.
Is it even possible though?
I don't know, bruh. Honestly speaking, I doubt it. My advice to many artists locally is always find something else. Even if it's not, even if it's not, people will call it a side hustle. I call it a straight up hustle. You need to have this other hustle that will keep you going.
It's the thing. That's how we want to survive.
We put this whole thing together, and I was asked to make it a 20-minute set.
Okay.
I just thought about it for days. And then I'm like, no. He had this song, Get Hard. My song immediately after that, he's hip hop and he has more of the famu type of element. He was throwing more cultural. So it sounded like a national anthem. It's Afrobeat. I remember I worked with a guy called King George. We immediately got a deal from that song. He was his best song ever. And then after we made his mixtape, Basali Angola right now as we speak. So he's pushing there. He's doing his music there. We were doing his demo and we did this song with him. Me, him, and Drigger. We were working on music together. So immediately we put this song. And after it, Osman Pule has this house flavor. She's always... the house thing.
Sure.
Abdisidimo with the manga jazz, the jazz flavor. Then Tate Buima to do the final close-up Kasesotho traditional
the real deal.
Sharp. Tate Buima, I've already worked with him before. Khale. nakong tsa Vodacom Superstars ke ra kopanywa again ke mosebetsi le yena somehow so ne re tsebana and that is Dima already, you know, I'm a fan, you know, sure. I've known him for a long time, so we put that whole thing together. But that 20 minutes I said, let me cut it. I don't think it's gonna be needed that long. And this is a recommendation. Me and my producer, the guy who masters my music, is T-Mac from MIP.
Sure,
yes.
Sure.
So T-Mac, we decided let's make it 17 minutes. Our songs will still fit within that 17 minutes.
Why?
Because Nikitsilo, I contemplate whenever I go to perform. I contemplate staging. I ask the promoters, okay, then I chop my songs based on that stage. But I always make space for speechy and stuff like that. So then I contemplate. I tried working it in my head until I said 17 minutes. That's it. Then I send that set to. Thank God I did that. On the day of the performance, immediately on the last song, we were supposed to do a new song that we had all come up with together. Okay. And that song, I excluded my verse and just told Nadestana to kick a little something, even Tatebu Malena, Bapala Koreana, Sidimo sings on it. But immediately at that song, when we were doing it, before Stana's verse, nobody even realized the performance is so because it was National Lesotho Day in Dubai, so there had to be other things happening as well, yes. Yeah. And just because, and it looks so well prepared, everything, yeah. So you always have to make space for inconveniences there, yeah. That's great advice.
Like I've always known you for hip hop. I mean, some artists have been diversifying. You've been doing hip hop. So you've been rapping. So also some other genres to climb on a genre, but also rap.
Oh yes. The luckiest thing about my production is when I started, since I was a young man, I think 16, 17, high school. Because in high school I was already writing, but I was never the rapper. This is what I loved. I love being in the background. You know that guy who wants I'm in a group of 4 guys. It's me, it's Uncle Fifth, it's Pasco Dollar, our best rapper, according to me, in the country. Now, Pasco Dollar, that's the traditional. So immediately, I grew up on the Fugees.
Okay.
I grew up on Boom Shaka.
Sure.
I grew up on crews. I grew up on squads. I didn't grow up on solo artists.
Okay.
So that taught me to be a team player since I was a kid.
Okay.
Then in Hypnotica was our crew, right?
Sure.
So Chocolate Soul used to make the beats, and Uncle Fifth used to go by Chocolate Soul then, or Fifi back then. So that I knew immediately when I started, one day I'll have to sing something, because I in the Fugees, the Lauren Hill would be the singer. She plays guitar. White Left singer plays guitar. What about the other guy? There's always the other guy that people never care about. So I said the other guy's name is Praz, by the way. So I used to study them a lot.
Sure.
And I asked myself, why didn't Praz become a big household name? Right. And I figured it out. It was because he never sang nothing. He was more just the rapper. And his verses were a bit shorter.
Sure.
So I learned quick, right? Pasco can sing. Pasco la kapa. Bro, we were kids when Pasco came up with that song.
Damn,
we were very young. You understand?
And then you all recorded that thing.
Yeah. So I learned quick, okay, I'm going to learn from Pasco. Whenever I'm in a group, or even till today, I work with young people nowadays because all my age mates are not in the music industry anymore. Most of them, my peers, they, decided to do 9 to 5 or do other things, life commitments. Pasco included. So now imagine, at that time, I didn't really take it to seriously, but I learned a bit and then I started writing my own hooks. So I've never had the interest of wanting to be a singer, but I knew you can be a rapper without a bit of this singing thing. So I did it way before because I was following the likes of Mos Def, like I said. On Traveling Man, Mos Def would sing and he did a very good hook.
Sure.
So by the time 10 years later in the music industry, when both Drake and them came singing, people thought it was new. It wasn't amazing to me. I just thought it's one of those things. So I've never considered myself to be anything apart from a poet.
Okay,
And with my poetry allows me to sing within any genre of music. I can do kwaito lyrics. I have in my albums, you will check over once in a while I can do a kwaito song. I've studied many genres. I was lucky to grow up in a family that listens to different genres. Yes. So
how do you improve? How do you maintain?
Yeah.
The Skebz D way of rapping and still be relevant.
I'm revealing secrets now. This is the hardest one. Okay, the rappers are gonna pick up my technique from today. They better. This is why we do. This is why we do
exactly.
this. To be honest, I am my biggest critic. So what I do is I never try to sound the same with every record, but what I try to keep. But Thomas is in Skebz Awahal. What's I've been in the industry for 20 years plus.
Nagonza, hey when I Skebz.
You can imagine. Now here's what I do. I never try to emulate anybody, which is what most artists do. I go to the core of my sound. I say, okay, you know the usual rap patterns that Basotho people like, hey, you know, that first song that I wrote, people didn't pick up one thing that I did. It was storytelling. So I tell a story even if I'm on a party track. People have never seen this. I put out the whole, I say I don't write music, I write movies.
Oh.
Yes. I pick out the whole scenario of the song. So within the song, I say, okay, if I'm going to have a 16-bar verse, I need to my story done in 16 bars. So now I always want to be relevant, and I came from the area old school hip hop. It was competitive. So every line or every 2 lines, they strike people. So there's a cross between being an intellect and being an entertainer. Too many people but like Stogie T or Talib Kweli, but tough. Then they'll be like, Casper is too commercial, EK is too commercial. I say, how do I find the balance between this art? So on a verse like Scheme, Yayamba Shungu, I'm the first rapper on that song on the remix. The minute he gave me the beat, everyone was gonna go with the beat easily, you know. Scheme, whatever. I decided to go faster than everybody else. I'm always competing, like I said. So I knew them. Yes, and I practice a lot. I never underrate. In fact, not underrate. I never think I'm good enough. Like I said, I'm my biggest critic. Then I learn quick how to do this thing because I studied Bobasta rhymes, these fast flowers.
Sure.
Clarity. Ke batla go hlaka ha o tsotelle nna ke bua ka pele ka pa bua slow hampa fela ke utlwa gore ntho ngwe ke buile
don't ban a boy
right ha ke batle there's people who throw in accents ha mmino ntso change utlwa gore motho no sa change nna ke batla go hlaka Sesotho sa ka se apaqa and ha ke mo tsa bang Sesotho ka moghono ka reng empa ke a utlwa ke se bua ke batla motho mo le ma utlwa lentswe le leng le leng. Then I think my final trick is I don't use too much vernacular. I try as much as possible to use common language. If I'm speaking in English, you don't
TI these guys.
I merge here and there ke kopanya dipuo di le pedi. But ke leka ka mekgwa gore motho a mamelang puo ena na utlwe le go le nene le gona ho utlwa la ke buile Sesotho fela somehow ntse ke utlwa na motho no re. I try to relate as much as possible. I think I got that I picked it up from either 50 Cent or Jay-Z. Because I grew up on the records. Jay-Z is one of the clearest artists. He speaks.
Yeah, Papa Z and can you tell me? Can you define his rapping?
Yeah,
his rapping because
Papa Z style.
Storytelling.
He's my mentor. He's my role model, and if you remember, the only album I actually managed to drop, which is an official registered album, South Africa, Risa. You know, Capasso, everything is under Papa Z's label. It's called Money, Cars and Girls.
Sure.
And I released it in 2014.
Wow.
I am the only artist to ever release an album, the only rap artist to ever release an album under Papa Z's label.
Wow.
Yeah. So Papa Z's style is one of the, I would say the blueprints to my style. I studied him and Lymphatic Tabs.
Sure.
Tabiso Mahape.
Excellent.
Papa Z talks. How to do
punchline What the hell was that?
You know, before I used to do a lot of rap, check, rhyme a lot, but now I talk first. I put my tabasaka more, and then I make the story come together. Yes, since I know how to rhyme, I'll sort of make it work. But I learned a lot from Papa Z. I met Papa Z way before I was ever considered to be I'm a rapper. So I used to look up to him and I'll go to his shows. Then after his album called Struggle Entertainment, I think it was their first album. That album inspired me to go to... I was already in school in Bloemfontein, but it inspired me to go to Johannesburg and pursue music as a career. So I was told to just finish up at least because Motel. So I had finished up in Motel. Then when I tried to go to varsity, I think I was doing my first year at Central University of Technology. I dominate. I think it was 06. So I told my mom directly, if you just give me this opportunity, I won't even need a year in Joburg. Trust me, it just took me 3 months. I got in Joburg in 07. By March or April, I had met HHP and I was already opening up his shows for him. That's how quick I did it. So that was all inspiration. That was all inspiration from Z, because Z was the guy, man. Like every time we saw Z, we knew Papa Z, it wasn't just about music with him. He wanted to, which is what I want every artist to do that. But no handle that business, but on top of handling the music part of things, the musical part, handle the paperwork as well.
And even if they are not really aware of that part, but they must know
Yes,
such that when they bring assistance, they know that has to be done.
Yeah.
Where's my music registered? Is ownership you own?
You know what I mean?
Publishing. We need to know these things.
All those things. I tried doing them first before I went into the music industry. People don't know what happened was before I ever released my own music, I was working on album Command Ops in Complex Mindset.
Okay.
I produced 3 songs there. Complex Mindset, the title track.
Okay.
There's also I think I was working a bit on the drums, because I stayed with a dude called Anonymous, who's the best beat maker in the country.
Tell these people the year
I think the original track was done in 06. Yes. So there was another track called with a guy called Master Jamal, who's with Command Ops on there. I forget where you at. I don't know where you at.
Bro, 17 years later. 17
years later.
Goddamn years later.
It's the soundtrack to Outlaws.
What?
You know what I mean? That is...
How 17
that is very important. It all the power of Lehobale patience, Mamel. Lehobale... Another key word to making it in the industry, which is why I don't know much about the new industry you know.
Sure, me too.
And most of them are inspired, but like I said,
sure.
The key word is also to have something called foresight. Commander always had it. Big ups to Command Ops. He always knew if I can do this and this, we were always trying to be American and then cater for jwale commander ke ena motho a pela ga qetwa ba meno ya ba le nna ke ba le tjanjelo ga le nna nka etsa yaka. So immediately after his, I think his came out in 07. Then Nancy like around Joburg did a couple of jobs. Yeah, about 08. Yeah, you just watch. Yeah, I wanna sing music directly. I had the approval inyana. Yeah, moto tingi Kuli Chan.
Sure.
He's one of the guys that was instrumental in making me do my own album because he was doing his solo too. Next album maybe song Motswako originator.
Sure.
I used to go everywhere to Kuli. Me and Pasco used to actually drive Kuli around to his shows. Because at some point, I'm telling you a true story, at some point,
all I go when it's not social media.
Yeah,
don't have these things.
Yeah, I remember some people saying you were talking about documenting these things.
Hey.
These journeys were sort of lonely and alone. But
and they were meant for you.
Yes,
they were meant for you.
There's so much pressure. With every move. Sometimes you can even jinx these moves.
Sure.
You can jeopardize these moves. Now that I'd found the place, I was lucky. I'd always been able to talk to people. So, 080, I was supposed to drop this album. Life changed for me. That song was made by a guy called Allegro, who used to work at Baseline Studios, right opposite HHP's recording studio.
Whoa.
So this guy was already engineering HHP's album, Acceptance Speech.
Okay.
So me, every time we spoke, he listened to him Kamil and darkness, everything. He looks like my own brother, my real brother, Abdi Sabo. Okay. So we just click. So record. He already had the band.
Okay.
I was around this. So I'm watching all this and I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to do this the right way. Started taking my time and not just releasing the songs. I released only Trompeter from the tape, but I think it was finished. Then only in 2009 did I get the funds to print, and then voila.
Yeah.
But if you listen to the inspiration behind that first album, it's paper, chele.
Sure.
Hebanna.
Yeah.
That song, Hebanna, comes from HHP's old album. He had a song called Hebanna. Sure. I flipped it for his competition, which I was entering, and I won that competition, by the way. 35K, I think it was in 2009. It was called Java Nights. So at that competition, Kuli was already beating for me. The top 4. It was me, Cats, a guy called Notsi, if you know him, and Casper Nyovest. Beat all 3 of them. So I did a rendition. I did a rendition of the HHP song. Hebanna. Yes.
So you actually recorded it.
Yes, it's a song. It's the intro to my album.
I see.
Yes, to that album called SothoHop mixtape. I loved that song because I loved. I was trying to be more like another HHP. Really inspired me a lot, and just losing Jabba was one of those things that. It's part of the reason I had lost touch with the industry. I was already in school in Limco, but it's one of the reasons I took a break off because that brother was everything, man. Like he taught me a lot. And that's
for sure. That was his game plan.
Yes, sir.
Put niggas on all day, every day.
Yes, sir.
When did you start? And you did it in an early stage. You put visuals to your music.
Oh yes. I was
early stage,
one of the first,
right?
Yes. The reason is I've never had big budgets because I've never been signed or anything. So being somebody's, I'm a busy person, man.
The levels.
So, like I was saying, I've never had big budgets. I'm starting with 3 friends, right? So these 3 friends of mine, we all decide to go into the Free State together. Chocolate Soul becomes University of Free State. Hafika decides Hoba a house DJ. Pasco decides to go deeper into the traditional sound. Not 2 seconds, gile Gauteng. Twitter music nothing much is happening. Now when I get to Johannesburg, every artist that I love is performing with a band. I had to realize quickly because I loved Stoggy T. He was still to me at the time.
And the volume at that time.
And the volume. So I learned quickly that I need to start advancing my sound because one day, and I saved myself because one day, music won't just be electronic. Trust me, man, my first trip out of town when I was now locked there in Joburg, doing shows. I had a little management thing. There was a guy called Andile helping me to get a couple of shows. And downtown, best spots, bro. Hey, I guess mind I went to Mafike and Lukuli. It was for something called 60s party back then. I don't know if they still do it. the 60s parties. They used to do it in Mafike.
Okay.
So that's when I learned, hey, WSP takes everybody with the band and everything. So I learned quick, look, if I can shoot something, at least people will start seeing my visuals and say, this guy is more of a live artist. So in Bloom, I had already shot for Anonymous. I think I shot him a song, 1 or 2 songs. And then I was scared to do it for myself. But when I got to Joburg, I shot my first song called Joburg State of Mind. And that song, immediately, because of that video, it was done by a guy called O'Brien. Manan, I don't know if he's still around, but he's still a videographer. One of the big ones. There were kids when I was already.
What are you saying, bro?
They used to go to after Academy of Film and Directing.
Okay.
Right. So I was staying right next to this. So I'm right next to SABC. You see, so I was based in Labori. Now, SABC is right on top of me. So I just took the video and said, guys, play it. That song went on to expand Tatestana's new album. The Sotho, what is it called? Sotho Fashioning was inspired by my album, SothoHop mixtape. Because but a lot of people don't know, but so I told Stan, I said, what you did was you listened to a lot of my album and you said, let me rework, yes, which is good because he was inspired. You see what I mean? So his song is now called Josie State of Mind. Mine was called Joburg State of Mind.
From car to Josie, right?
No. There's a specific song called Josie State of Mind.
Really?
And then mine was called Joburg State of Mind. I'm living in a Joburg State of mind where brothers wake up every day on the grind. Every day we just trying to make the best of time. Everybody is a goalie at open time. You know? So I think he was inspired by our albums kind of way, you know?
Yeah.
And
of course, because at that time you guys are pioneering the SothoHop movement.
And scared because we didn't know what we were doing. But
Maka, that's what you need to present to the people. You need to present a confident.
Yes,
yeah. In the background while we're doing this thing. So that's what you were saying.
So naturally, to be honest, I never had a hard time getting into the industry because Kilega support from home since a young age. I'll make an example. Before I started making music, 1999, 98, I get to Machabi. Form 1.
Yes,
I think I'm telling something. I'm about to hit my 40s.
40 something. You're turning 40 something.
I'm 37. So, but I'll give you 10 okay, primary, Seventh Adventist. So much having like to me is a new world, but but it's a course. Primary, you know, merit.
Sure.
So if you primary since August. So I got more Form 1. Katisa so much that by Form 2 I was selected to go represent the country in France. So these things have been happening for me for a while. You see what I mean? Yeah. So I went to Paris in 99.
Dubai wasn't nothing.
What I tell them, Skebz Dubai. France. So I went there with another lady. She was when I can only read English medium. So they were one of the highest performing schools. So they chose from my school and their school. He was their teacher there. So we went to France. Then I was a poet at that time. We had a poetry book where even our king had written a poem. I was lucky to also have a poem in that book.
Nice.
And I was called by UNESCO. Because I didn't think it was musical. I just thought it's a poem. Funny enough, UNESCO then chose me as representative the youth president of Lesotho until I finished my whole academics in 2003. So I kept going to different countries because of UNESCO now. I started going to UNESCO. 99 World Cup rugby. World Cup ball in 98, the 99 World Cup rugby, I remember. So I realized quickly, man, the world is a big place and we need to write and do things that cater for different people's.
Is that how you're getting collaborations with people across Africa?
Yes, sir. Till today, I network so much. I meet people. I recently met a guy called Leo VT. You're soon gonna know him. He's from a country called St. Michael's, next to America. So he said, yes, St. Michael is right next to America. Like Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago. Right. I met him on the internet. Now I talk to everybody.
Now St. Michael's.
Yeah.
I used to telling me right now.
Yes. So I met this guy. I talk to everybody. I answer people like a celebrity.
Sure.
So this is one of the things that helped me. And I think it is a key that can help many other artists. So I've never been one for that fame phase. But when it came, like I'm saying, SothoHop mixtape, I had to run with it and be that guy.
What's being that guy at that time?
It was pressure. It's like Ndadestana right now. I was there's times when I would wake up in a hotel, let's say Durban. Promoters used to book me a lot at that time, and luckily, we never really had a good management. So you'd have to teach yourself to be disciplined.
Okay, sure.
Yes, nowadays I've seen the artists all have managers, which is a good thing. They have people to also give them advice, like we came before them.
Hey, so
we didn't have those people for us. The only advisors I had was Dallas T, Papa Z, and I think Abdistoffer. Those are my role models. Those are the people who taught me everything. Dallas T taught me radio. He got me on radio. So Kanako, the thing was big, but I always wanted to do more. I remember we started the Hip Hop Cafe on the other station, Ultimate. It was entirely to grow the culture of hip hop. And I was already having music, so I could easily just not go on the radio and get like an interview fella. And I was traveling back and forth to South Africa. So many people thought I had money. They thought I was really, but they didn't know it. I was working so hard to make sure that I was paying 2 apartments. I would be based there. Then I would be ashamed to get high straight in my car. So it was a hustle, but the money was good for that time. And I was, like I said, I've always been competitive. I always wanted to see what I could do to make people respect Lesotho music and Sesotho music more. So I bridged the gap between Basotho all across Southern Africa. Hence the name SothoHop. Many people have SothoHop ke phoso ne ke tshwafa gore Lesotho kapa Sesotho. Nesentse ke tsaba Basotho ba teng in places like Tanzania. There's a language, Lodzi. It's almost like Sesotho.
And
yes,
Zambia
I had already Zambia, Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe Sesotho, there's an actual tribe means. So I had already known this thing, so I wanted to incorporate different people. They were already known, but were known. They were out there already.
Sure.
I wanted to unite all of us. So I did that. If you remember Mets. So we used to roll a lot with WHP in Mets. And Mets and I were the only guys.
I've seen him around. I've seen him around.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this is just me out of my own pockets. And it's like a weekend dicks and gigi Josie. But
how tough or easy is it to do that up and down?
Well, for me, I'm a family man. It's so difficult.
Yes,
like, I'm wondering if I get a second kid, because I only have a daughter, right? She's like 5. Ever since it's been tough, bro. Because my kid was born 2019 and to that COVID. So
damn it.
Was a tough hole.
Yes.
But luckily, the industry had prepared me a long time because I saw
okay.
So I worked a lot to make sure that I get a couple of businesses.
Sure.
I made sure I pay.
Okay.
Because no family business my brand selling. Whenever I've entered Vodacom Superstars 4 times, in case you don't know. And I only managed to ever win once. but to get to a good price once.
Okay.
But every time you don't win Vodacom Superstars, you are given a chance to enter again. Which is what
awesome.
Most people didn't see.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Sure.
So in 2012, me and my boy got to number 2, Blitzman. He was number 2, and we were actually a team where a group of 3 people was me, him, and Pasco.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2012, when I think the winners were Katleo Tsola, Ketlo, and they were crazy, man. Ketlo and Tech.
Sure,
yes.
Tech, sure.
Blitz was number 2, so we came out with a good sum. I think we got like 25K.
Dude, how Blitz was trying to get the face.
These are good. This is good money. We were pretty. What's difficult now, which is why I find it hard. Even the connections, the people are not as willing. But why can't I came back and I saw the new industry and I said, this is not the industry I grew up in or I grew up working with.
The artistic
yo man, can you come? Blue Tiger, no. Blue Tiger 2 weeks. Luego we put like a pomfano handsy. Bro, it's painful. But now I have thick skin. Thick skin because I had so many dimensions whole. Ke holetse in TTC, right? Matlong a matitjhere mo. Teachers training college whatever. So ne ke phela hata mai. Mohala ditwe. Kai, so I was learning from everybody from vacationing. Ke na bo panzola ha ka utlwa pineng tsa ka utlwa motho ena ya spanzoleng. You know what I mean? So ntotso di nthusitse hore ka pele.
How we ga spanzola phone ya mmino wa hao. Hanga o shebela Babazi.
Ooh, beautiful joint.
Did you feel any pressure writing your verse on Hanga o Shebela?
I was pressured every song with Babazi. Babazi was brilliant, and there was always another guy he went with. Tycoon.
Tycoon, is he still recording?
Yeah, he's still recording, but unfortunately, when I left the label, I had a 1 album contract with them. So I wanted to continue it and do more, but I had to leave because I was going to pursue my studies. Yeah, so remember the album was in 2014, 15 we're reaping the rewards of it, and then 15 August I just left everything. I still feel like I owe Papa Z one more album, especially for his sake, because by the time most people don't know that song is mine. It comes from the same album with Hanga o Shebela. So whenever he was in studio, Papa Z
wait, Hanga o Shebela it's your track.
Yeah,
it's your
mine
track
too. Yeah. I study. You know what I do?
Here's what we're gonna have to do, guys.
Yeah.
By next week Friday, I can put your music on Spotify.
Oh yes, I've recently just joined all the apps. Yeah. I've recently just got management. I have never cared about being managed. I don't know if it was an old school thing. But I wanted to make sure I get somebody who has the focus and the direction that I want, who understands my vision as well. Sure. So I'm working with a producer / manager of mine called Imhotep, based in South Africa. Nice. And the guy is very, very good with production. Imhotep, yes. Okay. You know, like the Egyptian Imhotep. Nice. So this is the guy who's putting my songs on all those digital platforms.
He better.
I'm glad to say you'll be getting even those classics. You know what I mean? So yeah, man.
The world's gotta hear you, man.
The first song is out there. It's called 40 Bars. It also has a music video.
Nice.
Shot by GGF. So awesome. I think early 2023 the video.
Wait, GGF is a video dude.
Most people don't see these things. I always have a foresight for them. When Gigi started shooting, he was playing around with a phone, and I said, man, if you can get a hold of a good camera.
Did you hear his drill song?
Yeah, I'm Gigi's. Me and Gigi are like brothers, bruh. Like
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. The song is called 2 weeks ago, eh?
My brother.
Crazy.
My brother. Let me tell you something about what I appreciate about Ntwino. No?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what Casper le KA, because those guys were the top of the game. Well, le KO. Sheba bititse di palami.
Yeah.
They're totally different each time.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Tlabale 1, 2, 3 Aholo. Casper.
But they challenge themselves.
Then they challenge themselves.
Yes,
did you hear that drill song?
Yeah, man.
Come on.
Here's what I respect about Gigi the most, and this industry will not give him his props unless Remo Fazon. Shout out GGF, man. He's one of the guys.
One time.
Gigi is not afraid to try new things.
Nice.
Done. That thing helped the industry grow. 2010, the music industry changes. Some people don't know nothing. For some people,
Sure.
So I hear Gigi, Sanzana joined a crew called Bui Boys.
Okay.
He was a member of it. His full name is GGF Pistol. Harep.
Oh, okay.
Pistol,
Yeah, I wanna.
right. Ebe ona pina ne bizwa ngwana mafatshe wa tseba o motle jwang e kare o motle ho feta ha ona le nna it was how they joke who's this guy rapping in the neck, but 2 seconds I start taking my own artists like Lesotho. I think I started being more at home in 2012, so I found Blaze first. Then immediately after Blaze,
Shatta Queen.
yeah, Blaze Shatta Queen is the queen of this Sesotho rap thing. So in fact, rap, I love her, man.
Sure.
She's yours. Shout out Blaze. So immediately Uga Gigi, now they're giving us competition. Gigi is part of the MIP camp, MIP, Asinzaba Binabo, Papa Galebes.
Yeah.
Guess what I did? I just listened to that song and I said, he's switching the game. I said, man, I'm gonna follow this guy. I immediately did Stalal. Stalal was inspired by Papa Galebes because the beats were very smooth. It's almost like DJ Mustard or Duty Sound isn't Papa Galebes, immediately when Stalal comes out, the blueprint was there. Remember, I was put on Basali by T-Mac. That song blew us up. It got us corporate connections. Yeah.
It also promoted the genre itself.
But what I did was, like I said, I study. So I said, Camp MIP will be our competitor with my camp in SothoHop. Then just by God's grace, I found a guy called Megahertz, aka Ntatestana, aka the new godfather of this thing. Everybody told me not to work with Stana.
Oh, really? Why?
Can you believe this? A lot of people were like, Maseru. I'm like,
sure, basically.
Because I was studying sound. I could tell they were different from us. They were more about, but Maputs are real. They're more about gangsterism, whatever. So I can study Stan. You're a storyteller just like me. Trust me, Stan Diwane, January 2014. Yaba Kadi 6 June 2014. Stan was getting booked more than me. I said, instead of Megahertz, it never more.
Sure, I'm gonna ask you now.
100%. The whole album has done up in artistic exception selemo ka ofela. Ke qadile ka Shuffle 2011, Robocop 2012. Unfortunately, we never dropped Robocop's album because he was very, very troubled. Like, he was going through so many things, but he was talented. So I decided to jump onto Blaze's album. Then every time I found somebody new, I would make sure I make him a project so that not only for me to know I was investing in businesses. With Shuffle's album, I reka mochino print and the CDs in a meeting. It's 80 at a time.
Tower.
Sure. It's an investment in then I went to different shops. I sold everything when I went to Limkongwi. I had a studio. I'm missing even my piano. So in Nakonya Stayan Megahertz, I'd already had the experience of how to push these people. Nigga said events in Lina. Right, Skebz D end. Nini se kira ska ngola ile Skebz D and mama ngola motho eno le mong ngole nna ha o batla o mbuka ke le mong, I'm still going to come with them, but how matla nyolla mokotla. So by Stana's time hola ba monatine se le bola cha fela, that was our first video to hit 100,000 views. So le nka it's 100,000 views on YouTube. Be little today ntse go sa tsebe chalita YouTube. But one thing I knew was how ka qala somewhere so qadi.
Sure.
So we did that, and I think Sestaba and Dunamis, shout out, they invested in the video and made it quality because Dunamis was there for Hotakenya Loga, KOL, some of the financing. Sestaba was there with YME Tunes. So people started voting and bidding for Stana. Then RMC did the beat. Stana's career was a united effort to guys.
Guys, do we have that thing? Collaboration?
Yeah, it's happening with Sanner.
Okay.
Yes, and I think it's always about having faith in these people. Naki ke ngwana jaba ke student at WHP. I have so much faith in people sometimes. My mom used to say that sometimes. Push abana. But I learn from them. I usually when after Stana's tape, it was called Pinya Play Mixtape. We did a second one. It was called Kaya to Josie the year later. Man, he just escaped me. He's busy. So when we met up for the Dubai trip, it was brilliant because I told him, get our Palamisali Fufana Musane so he's always been, I loved what he did because he followed everything. Usually follow
So when guys bro.
As we speak, man, I'm working. I don't wanna lie. I've helped so many people come up, especially Bokang and Tabi, Stan and Vector. But Maluma Vector has always been independent. Shout out to him. I've always seen that thing. Yeah. Stana, I think he got it from Vector. Vector keep him and Stan. Most people don't see that. So Vector already had a whole plan.
Nice.
Yeah, there was a time when there was the peanuts about my way, highway, that way, banana way. What do you want to say? We're trying to diss other labels. Imagine, this is how we wanted to come up. But MIP was taking over, bro. You remember
Badly.
Those guys, they inspired, they don't know, but they inspired Megaheads a lot because when the song started, Music in Progress.
Yeah.
And that's it. Because they didn't put. I'm telling stories.
What a petty way to pay
on
Basali remix, ne?
It hurt us so much. I had to go chop my verse from Basali. Then ask Vector and Stana to make their own verses. Then so that when we go to shows, we can perform Basali our own. But the song was everywhere, man. It was playing. I think that was the first time we started curating beats together. Now he can master beats, he can do videos, and he can do music. You know, me going back to Joburg. My first album was called SothoHop Mixtape that I did in 2008 in Joburg. So I figured to commemorate it or to celebrate it, I'm gonna be doing SothoHop Mixtape 2. So the energy, there's a vibe that I get in Joburg that I can get when I'm here. So for that energy to come back, I'm be doing a lot of work with the Penya Play Camp.
Yeah. SothoHop happy.
This is why I like coming to places like this.
This is too happy.
I like that. So I wanted to take my time just to be sure as family sorted and everything.
Yeah.
I think I'm as free as ever. And I did one song recently. It's called Lebelo. It's produced by DJ Zaka. It was just an experiment to see if I can jump on Song Dinabone in China. Yeah, Sesotho fashion. It is getting a lot of love. So now I'm finally Leon into Spotify. I wanted to be ready so that Oscar numbers because I heard, man, these streams don't pay much. So I need to really hit big numbers.
It's just take it as a promotion. Take it as a website. Yes. Numbers.
But don't worry, listen to this. You'd be surprised. Everything if you join it. I'm a brand ambassador for both Econet and Vodacom under some sort of side deal called InstaVoice. I've been under this deal for a while. So it's internet voice no don't like to say you can phone on how about our Skebz D? So that thing when I started, there was already other people who had registered with it. But as we speak, I have over 270,000 followers.
No way.
On that app. And trust me, because I'm from the old school, bruh. It's the best I can do, and I won't be needing any help with the pen game and everything. But I think the boys have really upgraded in terms of branding, in terms of, imaging your now. So I'll be back. I'll be working with them, but not as a member or signed under Pinya Play, but I'll be getting a lot of help and pushing Lena Stana Hulu. And then
nice.
Yo, Banu it's a mask. There's a friend of mine. His name is Fezile Madala. F-Easy. He's been in the industry for long. He was the coming right after Pro Kid. So he used to open for Pro Kid every show. CT, RIP, man, DJ City Lights. Yes, back when City was a rapper, before he was even a DJ at Ambitious Entertainment. Get so that far back. So most of these guys, I haven't linked up with them for over 10 years. So I'm sure it's like it's
now you have to tell them to get in what I need from you, me personally, is to see you do the things you had to have done ages ago.
That's what I feel I owe to my fans.
That's what you owe to the industry.
Yes, sir.
Because like we're saying, these people are on their own path, but we need to look up. And say, oh, Honale. I'll show you something very impressive. When I went to Malume Vector's show recently, I'm visiting. I'm in the VIP there. I'm supporting. So Nagi Patalitsiki VIP celebrity. I brought out the wifey to come check out Bo Vector. Everybody on the lineup was people that I had mentored. Thank you, sir.
Most people don't know I was running the rounds of Sanere right before you guys knew him 2 years back. It's so funny. I told people about him and nobody, as usual, just like with Megaheads, nobody was listening to me. Sanere used to go by the name RM Lever.
Okay.
Just now. So it's right before Asahlael. So I said to myself, sure. Up until Bobby Strings who was on the lineup, who have never touched base with students. So I walked to the stage to try to, I think I was going to talk to Juvie or something. People went crazy. The crowd went crazy. They thought I was going to perform. That's when I realized the industry needs me back, man.
That is beautiful.
No doubt. So
you sure it did something, man. It did something.
It did. You know what I mean?
Let's come back.
No doubt.
I've seen that you also. It's not that you're out of the game. Man.
Yes, no.
You have been working.
My reason for not doing big projects or anything, I was saying, testing the waters because I'm no more. Trust me, the music has changed.
It's very, very important to admit that so that you make the right moves.
Before you do anything, you have to admit that so I knew I had to sort of flex, but there'll be a lot of good projects coming.
I'm so happy, man, that you're saying this to us.
Man.
Thank you so much for coming through.
You know what it is.
I'm really honored. It means a lot because now I really do have respect for you. And if and you like respond that fast, it makes me feel like, I'm doing something.
I've been a fan of the podcast ever since it started, man. So I've been checking out the episodes. It's brilliant. It's dope.
Thank you so much,
yes, keep up the good work too.
And I was like, I need to do a podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is DJ Allegro. This is the main man, Skebz D. Skebz Dubai. Now we have to call him Skebz World because he's gonna take over from me, DJ Allegro. Peace. Cut.